All right, so for needle felting, you're going to have checked out a tool like this from me. And to use it, what you're gonna do is you're gonna take out the peg, rotate the needle, and then stick it back into the wooden handle, okay? You'll have your base color of your cacti, whichever you chose it to be, this green or the lighter sage green, okay? And then you'll have some detail color, right? Because for your little cacti, you're going to be adding a small detail. Now here are a couple of finished examples. This is like a button circular cacti. It has these little circles as a detail. And then here's this one as an example, okay? We've got like the ridges as a detail, but also these little polka dots to represent where like the actual cacti spikes would go, okay? You're also going to need a little cushion because we don't want to stab this into the table. These needles are really fragile so that they'll break if you hit it too hard. This is wool. This is a natural material. It's just dyed, okay? And what this little needle does is it has these little ridges, and when you stab it into the wool, it binds the wool fibers together, okay? So the more you stab it, the more it will go into the shape that you need it. So I'm going to kind of pull this apart. I want to start with it fluffed up. I don't want to start with it in a tube. So I'm just going to take this, kind of fluff it up, kind of rotate it around itself until I kind of get it into the shape that I want it, okay? I'm gonna start with my tubular structure first, and then I'm gonna make the arms of my cacti separately and then attach them. So this is kind of like the design I'm going for. And I'm just going to start. So I'm just gonna start by stabbing, rotating, and since I want it to be cylindrical, I'm going to stab all around, okay? And notice I'm not stabbing like all the way into the foam. That's not really necessary. You just need to stab it enough that it goes through the wool. And you'll see, the more you poke it with the felting tool, the more it stays together, okay? Not falling apart. So I'm just gonna do this all the way around. Just gonna rotate it. And just keep doing that until it's in the shape. Now I don't really like this right here, so what I'm gonna do is I'm going to take this and lift it because I'm trying to close the top. But again, I'm being very careful. I don't want to stab my fingers. Okay. Kind of use it from the side. The more you stab it, the more wound it gets. It's like you're making a dread. Okay. The tighter those little spools will get. Okay. This is a very tedious project, but it's kind of meditative. Take your time with it. And then you'll keep doing that until you have your base shape. So now that I have the base done, what I'm gonna do is start creating the arm. Now what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna do the same thing, but I'm going to bend it into shape and then hold it at that bend and kind of stab all around as well. And just going very carefully again, and we don't want to stab ourselves. Okay, I'm gonna go in from the side. You can kind of see that it's starting to keep the shape. Okay. Especially at the bend of the little arm, want to keep it nice and flat. So then I can kind of rotate it. You can see that I haven't done this side at all, but I want it to stay in that arm shape. So I'm gonna hold it and just bend along that angle. until it starts taking the shape of the cacti arm that I want to create. Okay. Again, more areas I want it to be like rounded and don't want all lots of edges. I'm gonna just like pick it up and rotate it. And now I'm going to stab flat right here. I want it to be nice and flat until I get the arm shape. Okay, now that you have your two pieces, what you can do is you can lay it down, hold it together, and then to stitch it together, what you're just going to do is you're just going to use your needle felting tool and stab all around to bind it. Okay, because what you're gonna do is you're gonna take the wool from the base and attach it to the arm. Okay, very carefully flip it over. Careful not to stab yourself. You're just gonna carefully stitch it together. Okay, put it on. You can see that starting to stay now. Oh, hi. Okay, so once you're done, you're gonna have your little cactus. You'll have your terracotta pot, your brown, and we're just gonna fluff it inside there. Just gonna gently stab it like these. It'll look kind of fluffy. Okay. I want to have it nice and compact. We also want to leave a spot for the cacti to sit. Okay, so stick that like that. And we're going to stab the cactus into the brown part of the pot. Okay. Just be careful when you're stabbing into the terracotta pot, just because it's not soft like the cushion. So there's definitely a possibility that it hits the side of the pot and breaks. Just want to be really careful. Okay. Continue stabbing brown. Okay. And just basically keep putting in the brown until your cacti stays up really good. I'm just going to okay, just gonna do a little bit on the front to even it out. Hold it where I want it to be. Again, be so careful stabbing into the terracotta pot, just because it definitely can break. Okay, and there you have it, your little cacti in a cup.